It's all about the children in the latest Young and Restless preview, and sadly, they're being used as pawns in some very twisted games. And speaking of twisted, it looks like Mariah's been pushed by the specter of Ian to put a dangerous plan in motion. Finally, Billy the man-child has left Sally with no choice but to go over his head and straight to his mother. After Kane and Phyllis turnkeyed the AI program against Victor, and it began destroying Newman Enterprises from within, it was obvious Victor would make moves to have his revenge. Unfortunately, Victor knows exactly how to strike Kane where it matters the most. Coming up, Adam tells Chelsea of his father's plan to use Lily, Maddie, and Charlie against Kane. Chelsea freaks out and wonders if Victor plans to kidnap Kane's loved ones. Would Victor really stoop so low as to kidnap children? Sally was livid after learning Kane had offered Billy the return of Chancellor, which had been his obsession for years. In spite of Jack, Sally, and others telling Billy that trusting Kane was a bad idea, Billy told Ashby they had a deal. Coming up, Sally goes over Billy's head and calls his mother about the possibility of her son abandoning Abbott Communication to take over Chancellor. Billy's not pleased by the redhead's move, but he should brace himself, as Sally tells him that she spoke to his uncle Snapper, and Jill has taken a turn for the worse. Mariah, still keeping her distance from her family, found herself doodling Dominic's name on a paper. When she reached out and phoned Abby, she panicked, hung up, and then Ian appeared to her. The ghoul pushed her to stick with the plan and do what had to be done regarding the family she helped create. Next week, Abby panics as she and Devaz can't find Dominic anywhere, and the night is approaching. Has Mariah kidnapped the boy she gave birth to? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Monday, January 26th, 2026. Today on Young and Restless, Victor's move miffs Victoria, Harrison plays a trick on Claire and Kyle, and Nick doesn't need to be readmitted to the hospital. Read the last YNR recap. Ian pushed Mariah to target Dominic, and Billy disappointed Sally for the last time. Panicking Claire joins Kyle at the Abbott estate as he searches for Harrison. She got a text there was an emergency there too. Harrison pops up. He sent the text and leads them to the dining room. He promises things are okay. His father catches his breath. Harrison asks them to sit and asks for their help with his schoolwork. He gives them cards to write down the answers to his questions about what they like. Once that's done, he has them read out their answers to see if they match. They get most of them correct. Harrison says they win. They guess this isn't a school project. He admits he wanted them to remember how much they have in common, so they will get back together. He misses Claire so much. She and Kyle assure him that she will remain in his life. They tell him this was sweet, but he shouldn't have tricked them. Harrison isn't happy they aren't getting back together. This is just like what happened with his mom. He admits that Mrs. Martinez is fun, but not as good at hunting for bugs as his dad. Kyle and Claire promise to be there more for him. She gives him a hug and then gets a text from Holden to meet. She claims she needs to see her mom. Kyle walks her out, and they talk about what's happening at Newman. He's sorry about how this may be affecting her and her mom. Claire doesn't know how her mom will cope with losing the company after losing Cole. Kyle admits that he's glad her grandfather is getting a taste of his own medicine. They admire the way Nikki and Jack are still getting along. He hopes all of this wasn't too awkward for her and promises he had nothing to do with his son's matchmaking. She says Harrison is smart and sweet, just like his dad. Kyle thanks her for helping with his son. She says he's a great father. They share an awkward goodbye. She looks back in and stay on the porch for a while. Kyle and Harrison get back to playing. He asks his dad if he misses Claire as much as he does. I do, admits Kyle. Sharon brings Nick home after he's visited Toe Doctor. They didn't need to readmit him and just have him more painkillers. Nick is eager to see Christian, but needs to stop by and see his parents first. He's worried about how they are coping with the takeover looming. They are doing what they can to save the company, but it is being completely taken over. She's sure this will backfire on Phyllis. It's not going to fix her emotional problems. Nick has tried talking to her, but it did no good. She urges him not to push himself too hard. She gets him a snack, and Noah and Sienna arrive. After waving his cane at them, Nick apologizes for lashing out yesterday. They explains that they met with Michael about Matt's assets. They also learned it will be easy for her to have her marriage annulled. Sienna admits it's strange to wrap her head around how easy it is to erase so much of her life. She adds that Matt's assets have been transferred to her, aside from the shadow room. Sharon and Nick guess that's down to Victor and remind Noah to thank him. Noah already has. He convinced Victor to do this. His parents look alarmed when he explains he owns the shadow room now, but congratulate him. Noah isn't sure if he will be staying or moving. His parents would be happy for him to stay. Sienna explains that Matt has been handed over to the police and is facing charges. Nick hopes it's over, but you can never underestimate that guy. Noah talks about how he wants to spend more time with the family. Sienna thanks them for all they have done for her and announces it's time for her to head back to LA. Noah is surprised and tries to talk her out of it. His parents tell Sienna to do what's best for her. They know moving there is a big ask. Sienna tells Noah she needs to go back to LA. He promises everything can work out there, but she's determined. He says he'll go with her and they can run the shadow room together. In his office, Victor looks at his own portrait until his daughter arrives. She gives him a hug and apologizes for being unprofessional. She asks if there is any way to save the company. He says they are doing all they can. His daughter feels responsible and doesn't want to see what he's built destroyed. He admits it's all serious. "I never give up," he assures her. That doesn't surprise her. When they get knocked down, they get back up. Victor will never surrender. But it does look bad. The gloves are coming off. He's proud of how tough his daughter is. They hug again. She asks how Jill responded to his call. He explains that Jill's condition has worsened, and he couldn't talk to her. Victoria wonders if she wants to know what the next step is. He says he will keep her informed as he goes along. Adam joins them. His sister is miffed she's being kept out, but leaves. Victor tells his son he wants him to find Lily and the twins. Adam asks what the plan is. "You don't plan to put Lily and her kids in harm's way, do you?" he asks. Victor says he will not put her in harm's way, but Kane doesn't know that. They need to make Kane think they are in danger so they can get him back to the bargaining table. Victoria joins her mom at society and vents about how exacerbating Victor is. Nikki is aware. She's furious he's let Adam in on his secret agenda. Nikki is sure it's not personal. Victoria wants to save the company she has fought so hard for, but her dad has brought Adam in. Nikki knows things are going to get nasty and they need to be prepared. She appreciates Victor wanting them to keep their hands clean. They're sure that whatever Victor is doing is dangerous and things could get worse. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sharon Newman will join the plot for revenge on Phyllis Summers. Sharon will help Nick Newman strike back as this rivalry reignites, so Y&R fans can expect plenty of drama. Phyllis and Sharon were enemies for many years, but they finally found some common ground while stuck in captivity together. Sharon and Phyllis saved each other's lives during all the Martin Laurent mayhem, so they came close to being friends. However, Sharon obviously isn't happy about Phyllis joining forces with Kane Ashby on this whole Newman takeover fiasco. Nick couldn't get through to Phyllis, so Sharon doubts that her opinion will make much of a difference either. That said, Sharon will decide to speak her mind anyway. Any progress that Sharon and Phyllis made toward peace will blow up as a fierce face-off gets underway. During the week of January 26-30, Nick and Sharon will make a bold move against Phyllis. Sharon and Nick will push Phyllis to take responsibility for her role in the chaos that the Newmans are dealing with right now. It sounds like Nick and Sharon will launch a heated confrontation, but Phyllis will continue to defend her actions. Since Phyllis felt like a mistreated loser for so long, she's not sorry for doing everything in her power to be a winner and gain some real power in Genoa City. Sharon may remind Phyllis that taking an every woman for herself approach didn't work when they were trapped at that psychiatric clinic. It wasn't until Phyllis and Sharon learned to be a team that they finally got out of there. Sharon may argue that Phyllis's selfishness isn't going to pay off now either. Kane is just as selfish and will probably burn Phyllis in the end, so that may be something Sharon points out too. Of course, we can assume Phyllis won't budge when it comes to her current stance. Phyllis will dig her heels in, so Sharon may plan to help grind Phyllis to dust, since that's what Nick already promised. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick will have a revenge helper with Sharon by his side, so stay tuned for updates on any shocking news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Matt Clark may escape from jail before his upcoming trial. Will Matt vow that the Newmans must pay and kick off one final plot for vengeance? YNR fans will recall that Victor Newman was quite vague about his Matt plans. Nick Newman wanted to know how Victor would handle Matt, but Victor just kept insisting he'd take care of it. The show obviously made it seem like Victor was going to terminate Matt or hold him hostage in a dungeon somewhere. Victor indeed, Matt stashed in a room at the Newman Ranch at one point, but none of that mattered in the end. In the January 26th episode, it'll be revealed that Matt was arrested and that he's being held without bail. Sharon Newman will count on Matt getting convicted at his upcoming trial and will hope he stays locked up for good. However, Nick will point out that they've learned by now not to underestimate Matt. This guy is a pest who just keeps coming back, so it's easy to see why Nick will still be concerned. Based on Nick's comments, it'll seem like this Matt story has one last chapter to go. That seems to line up with 2026 preview info when we look at what YNR head writer and executive producer Josh Griffith told TV Insider. Griffith insisted that Matt would make plenty of new enemies and cause more issues for the whole Newman clan. That hasn't really happened yet, since Matt's storyline has been pretty isolated to the same key players who were in Los Angeles. Plus, Griffith hinted about Matt coming back once everyone thinks the nightmare is finally over. And just when we think he's out of the picture, we find out he's not. And we're heading towards a huge showdown that will incorporate a lot of aspects of the past in a very dramatic way, Griffith teased. Does that mean Matt will escape from police custody in the not-too-distant future? Will Matt prove he's as slippery as ever by giving his guards the slip and wreaking more havoc? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Matt may have a chance to resume his revenge mission, so stay tuned for updates on all the terrible news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Phyllis Summers could be the one headed to prison for the Newman Enterprises AI software scheme if Kane Ashby throws his partner under the bus. There's a lot to unpack where this storyline is concerned, so let's talk about it. The Young and the Restless spoilers confirm that during the Thursday, January 22nd episode, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson discussed the articles they put out to the media, which heavily implied that Phyllis and Kane committed computer fraud via the AI software that is taking over Newman Enterprises. In addition, Victoria Newman launched a complaint with the FTC. While it's hard to know if the AI program can be traced, Chidam believes Phyllis could be the one who heads to prison if evidence can be gathered. After all, Phyllis is the one who installed the program into Newman's system, while Victor Newman struck a deal with Red to gain access to the program. The mustache could lie and say he never did. This would leave Phyllis up Poops Creek without a paddle, especially considering her history with the law. Multiple people, including Nick Newman and Daniel Romalotti, have warned Phyllis about getting involved with Kane. If all arrows point to her as the guilty party, there's no way Kane would take the fall along with her. Why should they both go to prison, right? Plus, despite his warnings, Phyllis sneakily stole the AI program from him to begin with. He may feel as if she deserves what she's getting. Adding fuel to the fire in all this is, if Phyllis finds herself in another legal battle, will her kids still stand by her side? Daniel has already sided with the Newman family and doesn't agree with what Phyllis has done. Summer Newman might be too outraged by her mom's attack on her family to show any support or sympathy. Will Phyllis be the one to take the downfall in this AI software scandal? Will Kane throw Phyllis under the bus? Comment below. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates indicate that Chelsea Lawson will be shocked by Victor Newman's triple kidnapping scheme. Adam Newman will try to clarify things when Chelsea jumps to what is likely to be an incorrect conclusion. YNR's preview video for the week of January 26 to 30 features Adam confessing that Victor intends to use Lily Winters as leverage. He's also using Maddie Ashby and Charlie Ashby as leverage against Kane Ashby. This revelation will leave Chelsea reeling and concerned about the lengths Victor might go to. Chelsea will become anxious about the chance of Victor abducting Lily and the twins, but would Victor actually take such a step? He might consider it if he believed it would be beneficial, but there's a catch since Kane knows he would never truly endanger Lily, Charlie, or Maddie. Victor isn't a villain who would torment Neil Winter's family, so kidnapping may not be his true intention here. Y&R is set to kick off a kidnapping storyline featuring Dominic Winters, so introducing another triple abduction would be excessive. It would be more logical for Adam to clarify things for Chelsea after she misinterprets Victor's leverage strategy. Adam could help alleviate Chelsea's worries regarding her kidnapping concerns. There should be an alternative method for Victor to ensnare Lily and the twins in this situation, one that doesn't involve their abduction and captivity. Nevertheless, Lily, Charlie, and Maddie may still face some turmoil. Victor has safer tactics at his disposal that could disrupt the trio's lives and careers. He might be inclined to resort to such measures. His own true love and children are also under threat. Kane's takeover scheme is negatively impacting Nikki Newman and the entire Newman family, prompting Victor to retaliate. On the other hand, Victor could involve Lily and the twins in his leverage scheme, manipulating them to outsmart Kane, given that they are aligned with Victor in this matter. In any case, we can hope that kidnapping is off the agenda, so keep an eye out for Adam's updates regarding Victor's ambitious plan. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that the conflict between Kane and Victor will unfold with even more surprises. On The Young and the Restless, January 23rd, Mariah is still haunted by the past. She has a growing fixation on Dominic. As Y&R fans recall, Mariah was a surrogate for Abby and Devon's son. In her mind, she might still think that she's his actual mother. On Friday's episode, it was suggested that Devon and Abby's marriage is perfect. They ended up with an epic love story, even though their relationship is far from perfect. It started out as a passionate love affair when Abby and Devon cheated on their respective exes, Chance and Amanda. Then, they ended up with full custody of Dominic. Initially, Mariah carried Dominic for Abby and Chance, but he was biologically Abby and Devon's son because Devon donated his sperm. The couple has been pushed off-screen because they were haunted by drama. Now they're back, which means that trouble is coming. Their happy little family is about to come crumbling down. It was previously assumed that Mariah left the clinic in Boston. She ended up at a motel near Genoa City. Mariah thought she couldn't get any help for her trauma, so she ditched Tessa and Aria. She thought this was the best decision for them. As for Mariah, she continues to crumble in Friday's episode. She's been talking to Ian's ghost ever since she received psychiatric help. He convinces her to come up with a plan to kidnap Dominic. Mariah isn't just set on destroying her marriage, she's also taking down Devon and Abby with her. Back in November, James hinted that Abby and Devon's marital problems would be exposed. Devon's going to find someone in his immediate family in danger, and that's going to put Devon and Abby's marriage to the test in new ways, he hinted at the time. Y&R seems set to rewrite Mariah's history with Dominic. Long before Mariah started talking to Ian's ghost, she reflected on the time she was pregnant with Dominic. It has been speculated that Mariah could be Dominic's biological mother. This could destroy the happy family life that Abby and Devon have built together. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, January 26th, hint at some major moments as Genoa City ushers in a new week. A character strikes back at his nemesis, while a mother worries about her son, and a daughter protects her family's legacy. What's on the horizon for Monday? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, January 26th, suggest that Victor Newman will strike Kane Ashby where it hurts. During the Friday, January 23rd episode, Victor called Jill Abbott to update her on her son's actions. With that said, it looks like Jill's health has spiraled. The Young and the Restless weekly preview shows a scene where Sally Spectra tells Billy Abbott that Jill is having a medical crisis. How will Kane respond to this news? He adores Jill, like a mom. So will he back off from Newman Enterprises so he can focus on Jill? Speaking of moms and worries, Sharon Newman will be concerned about her son, Noah Newman, and his future with Sienna Bacall. She has good reason to worry, not only because of their age difference, but also because they are worlds apart when it comes to lifestyles and morals. Not to mention the fact that Noah seems delusional where Sienna and her role in his family is concerned. Can Sharon convince Noah to slow things down? Finally, the young and the restless spoilers for Monday hint that Victoria Newman will step up to protect the Newman family legacy. Victoria is already working overtime to save Newman Enterprises, even logging a complaint with the FTC and confronting Kane. What will she do during the January 26th episode to secure the company's future? What storyline are you most looking forward to during Monday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Chelsea Lawson has been living with Adam Newman for some time. Marriage was brought up on the January 20th episode of Y&R Leading Fans to wonder if a proposal is on the way. Will Chelsea spontaneously propose to Adam since they are doing so well together? Nikki Newman asked Chelsea about her and Adam's relationship today. Adam and Chelsea moved to the ranch months ago after Victor Newman surprised Nikki without the rebuilt ranch house. Chelsea was visiting with Nikki, and the two discussed Chelsea's relationship with Adam. Marriage has never really come up since Chelsea and Adam moved in together. Adam was trying to do what was best for their son. Chelsea wasn't even sure if she wanted to be with Adam as a couple when they moved in together. Now, Chelsea wants to make things more official. Adam has revealed that he was scared about where this was going. Will Chelsea make the big move? Chelsea knows that Adam was afraid that she might leave him over the attack on Abbott. Chelsea made it clear that she was not okay with this. However, Chelsea tried to reassure him that she didn't feel that way at all. Adam may also feel that if he proposes, he is trying to keep her close, and perhaps he is manipulating her. Adam doesn't want Chelsea to cut and run, and he knows how difficult it is for her to go along with everything his father keeps ordering him to do. Considering everything that has happened so far, Adam may be afraid to ask for a bigger commitments because he is afraid she will run for the literal border. Valentine's Day will soon be here, and fans could be shocked to see a proposal from Chelsea instead of Adam. After all, Chelsea wants to make things permanent just to show Adam how much she loves him. Chelsea supports Adam and doesn't ever want him to fear that she might walk away from her. Chelsea loves her man and wants him to know that above all. Will Chelsea propose to Adam for Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day would be the perfect time to have a proposal, and it would be nice for Chelsea to be the one who surprises Adam by popping the question. Will Adam accept Chelsea's proposal and move on with setting a date, or is Adam ready to make this move? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Nikki Newman loves her husband, but also cares about one of her exes, Jack Abbott. That establishes an intriguing triangle that isn't romantic at this point in the plot. Kane Ashby has ill will toward Victor Newman because he smeared his father's reputation. The head of Newman Enterprises, or what's left of it, did that after Colin Atkinson was dead and couldn't defend himself. While Kane doesn't have the same feelings about Jack, he's become as calculating as the man Bergman's character has come to distrust. Add in the Phyllis Summers factor, and the soapy stage is being set for a needed Victor and Jack alliance. Artificial intelligence is the topical straw man and straw woman device that's being used in this storyline. Public fears are tapped by injecting this developing technology into Genoa City, Wisconsin. So the company Kane built with his father's supposedly stolen money, Arabesque, created an AI program that, in and of itself, wouldn't be cause for concern, but it's the manner in which Kane intended to employ it that's caused problems. He didn't anticipate Phyllis hacking the AI program and giving it to Victor. That happened, and Braden's character caused Arabesque to rapidly evaporate. Kane's revenge against Victor didn't involve him destroying Newman Enterprises. Instead, he's taken hold of it. And viewers are wondering why Michael Baldwin and the company's other lawyers haven't already responded legally. Suspending disbelief to advance this story, Victor went to Kane's ridiculous train car office and asked him what he wanted to stop the madness. But for Kane, this isn't madness. It's payback and a different way to realize Colin's dream for him. Flynn's quixotic character, which is a different slant on the persona Daniel Goddard first embodied and played through 2019, wants to rule GC. As of now, he is, and this reign could spread well into this new year. Nikki implored her husband to destroy the AI weapon Phyllis gave him. But his ego rejected that sound advice. As the momentary head of Chancellor assumed, Victor's bravado has led to catastrophe. Sharing confidential family intel with Jack will create fireworks during January. But as this emotional thriller plays on, viewers should expect Nikki's mediator role to result in Victor and Jack working toward the same goal. Jabot is safe for the moment, but Jack and Victor will be in the same position if Kane takes the Abbott's family business, and then a needed alliance will make sense to both longtime combatants. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless preview video for the week of January 26-30 reveals that Abby Winter and Devin Winters will search for missing Dominic Winters, while Victor Newman's Kane Ashby leverage plan worries Chelsea Lawson. Y&R's weekly preview video kicks off with Adam Newman admitting Victor wants to use Lily Winters, Maddie Ashby, and Charlie Ashby as leverage against Kane. "He's not going to kidnap Lily and the twins, is he?" Chelsea exclaims in the promo clip. Of course, Adam may assure Chelsea that Victor doesn't intend on doing something that extreme. Victor may have another idea in mind when it comes to hitting Kane where it hurts. Over with Sally, she'll give Billy updates on her decision to call Jill Abbott and alert her to the latest Chancellor situation. Billy will be upset over Sally going behind his back to call Jill and tell her that he's potentially leaving Abbott Communications. However, Sally will admit she didn't actually get a chance to speak with Jill herself. After Sally confesses that she spoke with Billy's uncle Snapper Foster instead, she'll deliver some bad news. "Billy, he said that Jill has taken a turn for the worse," Sally spills in Y&R's weekly preview video. While Billy reels over Jill's health setback, Abby and Devin will deal with a crisis of their own. Dominic will go missing from the Chancellor Mansion, so Abby will find herself in panic mode soon enough. Devin will assure Abby that they're going to find Dominic, even if he's worried too deep down. Abby will point out that they've searched the grounds and talked to everyone, but nobody will know where Dominic is. Since it'll be getting dark, Abby will admit she's starting to really freak out. Devin and Abby will face a terrifying shocker, but they won't realize Mariah Copeland's abduction plot is the reason for it. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Devin and Abby have plenty more struggles ahead of them, so stay tuned. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Mariah Copeland and Victor Newman are up to some really twisted deeds very soon. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we've got the latest Y&R spoilers for the week of January 26th, including a kid going missing and 3 more people possibly kidnapped. It is getting wild. Before we dive in, please click subscribe if you're not following us. I want to warn you, hang on tight next week because Young and the Restless is kicking off February sweeps in style. That begins Thursday, January 29th. So, from late next week, and then for the next 4 weeks until February 25th, it's going to get wild and twisty in Genoa City. Let's start with little Dominic Chancellor going missing. Yes, next week, Abby Newman and Devin Hamilton's son is kidnapped. And by the way, we have a new Dominic. They recast him and aged him up just a little. The new actor is adorable Ethan Ray Clark. So, they got a new Dominic just in time for the surrogate that gave birth to him, Mariah, to come snatch him away from his parents. At the end of this week on Young and the Restless, Mariah's at that local ratty motel on the outskirts of Genoa City. You know, where Jordan Howard lurked, and Ian Ward lurked, and I think Phyllis Summers has lurked there, and Adam Newman has lurked there. It's the place you go when you're in hiding. And guess who's with her? Ian Ward in his hallucination form. Mariah was thinking about going back to her wife and her daughter, Aria Porter Copeland, and she was thinking she'll beg Tessa Porter to forgive her. But then Mariah decided she doesn't deserve them because she destroys everything she touches. She's talking about her dark soul, and Mariah was thinking about Dominic and doodling his name. So Mariah's got some sort of plan that she's debating going through with. She makes a phone call and then she hangs up. Ian is there and tells Mariah to stick with the plan and reminds her that she gave birth to Dominic. She did, but she is not his biological mother. There is no genetic tie to him. That is Abby and Devin's child. Ian tells Mariah that things will be better if she just follows through with the plan and does what he says. Meanwhile, Abby tells Devin that Damian Kane and Phyllis have crushed Newman Enterprises, and Devin's upset that Damian Kane broke Lily Winters' heart. Then Abby takes Dominic ice skating, and Abby brings up to Dominic that she didn't grow him in her belly. I guess that's just reminding fans. Abby gets a phone call, but the person hangs up. It's clearly that Mariah was calling Abby and hung up. Later, Devin joins Abby and Dominic for some family time. Then next week, everything goes off the rails for them. Young and the restless spoilers have Abby and Devon going berserk, searching all over the Chancellor Mansion looking for Dominic. We hear Abby and Devon freaking out because they looked all over the grounds. No one has seen Dominic. Abby starts to really panic because it's getting dark outside. It definitely looks like imaginary Ian convinced Mariah to kidnap Dominic. This ties back to the Young and the Restless 26 winter spoiler that said Abby and Devon would be pulled into Mariah's storyline with Tessa and Daniel Romalotti. The spoiler also said someone would need a lawyer, and that's where Christine Williams comes in to represent someone. It certainly looks like Mariah could be charged with abducting Dominic. I think she'd get off on an insanity plea because clearly she's not doing well mentally. We're also going to see Abby and Devon on a plane soon, likely on the private jet, out searching for their son Dominic. Also on that plane, we are going to see the very handsome Detective Burrow. We met Matt Cohen's character when he was an undercover cop for the LAPD pretending to be a dirty cop to get closer to Matt Clark. He worked with dirty cop Annie, who is a real traitor. Now, Detective Burrow is going to join the GCPD, and he'll be working the Dominic case. Just by the way, they hired Matt Cohen, but then he had torn an Achilles tendon, I think, and he needed surgery and had to go through recovery and mobility issues. That's why we weren't seeing him as much. We're going to be seeing him a lot more now. Also, we got some bad news for Billy Abbott. By the end of this week, Sally Spectra runs into Audra Charles at Crimson Lights and tells her that Billy's letting her down again. Sally tells Audra this is the last time she lets Billy do this to her. Of course, Audra is Team Sally, and she cannot believe that Billy's taking Damian Kane up on his offer to run Chancellor. Sally's upset because she knows Billy wants to say yes. He's already said yes, he just hasn't been clear with his girlfriend. Then Sally says she needs to convince Jill Abbott to let her hire Audra at AbbottCom since Billy isn't going to be there. Predictably, Audra's very excited and says Sally would save her life if she did that. It looks like Billy's gal pal isn't playing around, and she calls Jill Abbott without telling him. I think that's fair because Billy has been doing a lot of stuff without telling Sally. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week have Billy quite upset with Sally. Billy's ranting because Sally called Jill to tell her that Billy may be leaving the company. He's irate and indignant with Sally and says, doesn't she think that's a conversation Billy should be able to have with his mom, Jill, instead of Sally having it? I honestly don't think she feels bad about reaching out to Jill, and she shouldn't. Sally claps back on Billy and says, you know what? I couldn't reach Jill. She says she spoke to Snapper, who of course is Jill's brother, and Snapper told Sally that Jill's health has taken a downturn. Billy looks horrified. He would know this already if he was talking to his mom. I bet Damian Kane knows. Anyway, I'm wondering if Jill being worse off may convince Billy to rethink taking Chancellor from Damian Kane, but I doubt it. Don't worry, Jill's not going to die or anything. They have big plans to celebrate Jess Walton's 40th anniversary on Young and the Restless, and that's not for a while yet. This may just be an excuse to leave Jill off screen for now and let Billy deal with his own messy life choices without his mom stepping in. I do wonder if Sally will go ahead and hire Audra anyway, since Jill's out of touch and not doing well. Also next week, Adam Newman is really worried about another kidnapping. He tells Chelsea Lawson Newman that his dad, Victor Newman, wants to use Lily Winters, Unsti, Maddie, and Charlie as leverage against Damian Kane. We all know Victor will stop at nothing to save Newman Enterprises. But Chelsea's shocked and wants to know if Victor's planning to kidnap Lily and the twins. If Victor does that, I don't think it would work anyway, because Damian Kane knows Victor wouldn't kill them or hurt them. Devon and the rest of Genoa City would lose their minds if Victor really did something bad to them. Plus, Victoria Newman already tattled to Lily and the kids about what Damian Kane has done with his AI. I think the one thing that might scare Damian Kane is if Victor has somebody bad kidnap them. Somebody like Matt Clark, right? That would be insane. But we've not seen Matt's corpse. I doubt Victor killed him. I think he's got him locked up and he might keep Matt around on a leash to do his dirty work. Let's be real, Victor's had worse people as his henchmen. You guys remember Marco Anatelli? He was absolutely a monster. All right, come back soon for our full weekly Young and the Restless spoilers video, our predictions over the weekend, 2-week spoilers, and lots more. All coming soon. In Friday's episode, The Young and the Restless took a break from business as usual, emphasis on business, in its preview for the week to come. But while that was good news for viewers tired on non-stop corporate shenanigans, it was very bad news for the show's last remaining original character. Naturally, the revelation stemmed from the soap's game of musical CEOs. Billy was ticked to learn that Sally had tattled to his mother that he was potentially leaving the company, but it turned out that the redhead hadn't gotten to speak with Jill at all. On the contrary, Sally explained that she'd spoken to Billy's Uncle Snapper, who informed her that Jill's heart condition had taken a turn for the worse. Would Young and Restless really kill off its only remaining OG character? It's hard to imagine that the powers that be would send Jill to the grave, but then, there was a time when we thought that about her grandson Chance, too. And though Jill drove tons of story for decades as she slept her way up the corporate ladder, breaking hearts and breaking up marriages along the way, her role has been significantly reduced in recent years. In fact, lately, 2-time Emmy winner Jess Walton mostly shows up now and then so that Jill can scold son Billy, who, let's face it, is just about always due for a tongue lashing. Rather than kill off Jill, the show could perhaps reposition her in the Grand Dame role that was left vacant when we lost the great Jean Cooper as Catherine. After all, no one's been around the block more than Jill, so who better to dispense sage advice? Plus, she's mellowed over the years and isn't nearly the hell-raising scheme queen she once was. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, January 26th, reset the universe back on its axis as Victor figures out a way to swat down Kane like a pesky fly. There was a split second there when Victor thought he might actually lose. That Kane and his magic computer program might succeed where others have failed and bring down the Newman Empire. But then Victor remembered who he was. A king. No, an emperor. And who everybody else was. Peons put on Earth to serve the great Victor Newman. So the next time he confronts Kane, Victor has even more of his famous threats and smirks. That'll send Kane running. And while Victor preens and postures, Victoria is left to do the actual work. Sure, she wants to save the family company. Sure, she wants to do it for the hundreds of thousands of people who depend on them for their livelihood. And she wants to do it for her siblings and nibblings, who might want to inherit it one day. But Victoria mostly wants to do it to prove to Daddy that she is the best, most productive, most responsible child. Because Victor's love is the most important thing in the world. So while Nick and his family deal with their money and power struggles, Sharon is left to deal with a lower-level problem. Her son is in love with a woman who is clearly and unquestionably trouble. Noah insists he and Sienna are in love. But Sharon knows a user when she sees one. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 26th suggest some surprises. For one thing, it seems a child might go missing. Nick Newman is headed down the road of addiction. Also, Victoria Newman punishes Kane Ashby. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with the kidnapping that is ahead. Even though Mariah Copeland has pushed away Tessa Porter and Aria Porter Copeland, the redhead will go after another Genoa City resident. It seems that the woman will target Dominic Newman Abbott Winters Chancellor. Fans watched as Mariah kept being reminded of Dominic. With Mariah so unstable and under Ian Ward's guidance, Dominic could be in real danger. This leads to Devin Winters and Abby Winters turning to someone unexpected for help. Even though he has zero jurisdiction in GC, Detective Burrow assists in some way. In the beginning, nobody will suspect that it is Mariah who takes Dominic. However, as everyone starts putting together the clues, Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti Jr. will get roped into this storyline. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of January 26th, reveal that Billy Abbott keeps telling everyone he hasn't accepted Kane's offer yet. However, it's looking more like Billy will take it. That will leave Sally Spectra wondering what this means for her relationship. Although Kane keeps assuring Phyllis Summers they are on the same page, he will have some doubts. Victoria is going to hit Kane where it hurts. It sounds like Victoria might get Lily back to Genoa City or contact her somehow. If Lily gets involved, Kane will have some serious decisions to make. Fans know how much Kane cares about Lily and wants her back. So, she might make him think there's a shot, but only if he gives up this crazy takeover plan. However, Kane will likely think she's just saying that to get what she wants. Even so, I could see Kane giving everything up just for the slight chance of a reunion with Lily. So stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 26, 2026? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next.